I am Emily Nolan with No Side Music, and today I'm going to teach you how to hold your bow hand on your violin and get good tone with it. The violin is my main instrument. I do play other instruments, but the violin is my main one. And to get started, I want to start with a little bit of anatomy of the bow. So on the very end here, we have the tip. Down here at the bottom, we have the frog, and this is the frog's eye right here that we cover when we hold the bow. This part right here is the stick. And then this right here is the hair, and this is made out of horse's hair because it is very strong and durable. And because of that, we don't want to ever let our hands or our fingers touch the bow hair, because the oils from our hands will make the hairs kind of disintegrate and fall apart. And the only exception ever to that is once you have rosined your bow, you can take your thumb and flick the very bottom part down here where we don't play, and it'll make any of the excess rosin come off so that that doesn't come off on your violin. And then on mine, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little discolored right here from me doing that, but I never play down there because you can't really get any sound down there. So that's the only exception to the rule of touching your bow hair. And then on my bow, this won't be true for every bow, but I have this bow grip on here. It's this black part right here. And that is just because when I was performing a lot, I was bruising my knuckle on my finger here when I was playing. And so this is just kind of an extra cushion, kind of a pillow for the finger to keep it from hurting so much. Okay, so with all that being said, we're going to place our hand on our bow, and your pinky goes on the very top, kind of right before the silver part right here. Your two middle fingers cover the frog eye, and then your index finger reaches over like this, and everything kind of reaches over the bow to hold it. So you have your pinky right here on the very tip top, two middle fingers cover the frog eye, and then this finger right here, you sit on the knuckle right there. And on the other side, we have our thumb, and you always want to make sure your thumb is bent out, not in. When you bend it in, it spins your bow, so you can't play it straight on your strings. So you want to always have your thumb knuckle bent outwards, and then you can put it right here in the crevice. Some people like to put it all the way in for their thumb to kind of sit in there behind the hair. I kind of like it on the edge right here, and I kind of use my thumbnail to hold it in place. And then when we actually bow with the thumb knuckle bent out, the knuckle right here, and then our pinky right here, that is what is going to give us our sound when we use all three of those fingers to put pressure on the bow. These two fingers are kind of just chilling there. If you lifted them up, you could still bow correctly, but that would be really hard and pull on all the muscles of your arm. So this is how you correctly hold your bow hand. And then when you play the violin, you want to, starting out, you can have your hand right here on the violin to hold it in place. And then as you get used to that, you can pull your hand back to be able to play down here. But as a warm-up, I would just have your hand right here to hold your violin, so you don't have to focus too much about holding it by itself. This just kind of gives it an extra pressure on your neck and your shoulder. So to start out, I always like to start with a down bow, and we'll start down here at the frog, just above the silver part right here. You'll have more silver showing, but mine is underneath my bow grip. And you can start down here, and we're just going to do a long down bow, about 3/4 of the bow. When you get too far up here to the tip, you lose sound and control of your bow because your hand is too far away. So you want to not go all the way down, all the way up to the tip, but about 3/4 right there. And then when you bow, you want to be in the middle between your bridge and your fingerboard right here. If you get too close to your bridge, it will start screeching and kind of make that cat sound. And then when you get too far away, it makes this quiet kind of airy sound. So right in the middle is where you're going to get your best sound for your violin. So I'm going to start here on the A string because that one's the easiest to start with. I'm going to start towards the frog, and then I'm going to go all the way down. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to go up, and again I'm going to only go about 3/4 of the bow. Right, like that. And I'll play a little closer to the bridge so you can hear what that sounds like. Not nearly as good. And then further away, just a lot quieter. So again, like I said before, use your pinky and the knuckle of your index finger and then your thumb with the knuckle bent out to apply pressure to your bow. And then you apply less pressure if you want it to be a little quieter, and then more pressure if you want it louder. And then the best exercise to do is to do just that down up bow on each of your strings. So I like to start with the A first and then go over to the G and then back over and then come up to the E here. And just apply a very even pressure all the way through on all of your strings. So that is my advice for today, teaching you how to hold your bow and get a nice clean sound on your strings. I will see you next time.